Right, Tom, would you introduce yourself for us?
Tom Roebuck, I play for Sale Sharks on the wing.
Lovely. So we've been doing some pretty heavy training days over the last few weeks. Give us a day in the life of nutrition and food for you on those big training days.
So obviously we come in and we have our breakfast made for us here, which is a very nice luxury. We usually have eggs and toast. Usually it's fried eggs, sometimes it can be an omelette if the chefs are feeling nice. So that's a good start for us, and then we'll do our gym and our unit stuff, and then we might go in for some brunch, we call it, which is usually it's either chicken and some sort of carbs, or occasionally it can be a nice bit of like beans, bacon and stuff like that. And then we'll have our big session early afternoon. That's where most of the work gets done. Come in, we'll have to usually rehydrate first, and then we'll go and have another feed upstairs, which is usually like the same again, some protein options, some high carbs, and then some veg as well. And then after that it's just the final meal at home, which is whatever we fancy on the night. It's usually high protein.
So if you had unlimited choice in terms of post-training meal or snack, what would be your go-to?
Post-training? It's a very good question. It'd have to be high protein, but it'd also be a lot of carbs. I'm not boring, but I like to keep it simple, so I'm happy with my chickens and my potatoes. I like to air fry my potatoes and make them into chips. So some sort of chicken, potato and probably some veg, usually broccoli. So
if we switch on to match day, and we've had a few games now in the season, what would be your typical match day plan in terms of food, nutrition, supplements?
I think it would vary depending on what time kickoff is. So most of our kickoffs are 3 o'clock, which is it's a standard time. So I think wake up, I usually have an omelette and a bagel, and then occasionally I'll supplement myself with some cereal just for a bit of extra carbs. But it's just standard breakfast, and then we'll come in at 12 o'clock, 3 hours before kickoff. We'll have our final pre-match meal. That usually looks like a pasta, a chicken, just simple, easy to digest foods, and then we'll go into our usual game prep.
So you're in the changing room, you've arrived a few hours before the game. What types of snacks and supplements might you go for? We've
got a lot, but personally I like to go for a flapjack. Chefs make that, so that's a really nice touch. And then mostly I'm just onto caffeine, so it's caffeinated shots, and then finally it'll be a Kinetica gel just before I go out.
So then in terms of post-game, what's your typical snack or go-to meal?
We have these like milkshakes from Kinetica, actually. They give us them, which is really nice. I like the chocolate one, so that's my first thing I'll grab after a game and sip on that to try and rehydrate and refuel.
So final question, what would be your go-to top 3 Kinetica supplements?
Top 3, I'd probably go with 1, the milkshake that we just said. It's really nice and it's easy to consume, especially after a game. I think it fuels you pretty well. Secondly, I think it's this one right here, the Clear Whey. I think I'm someone that doesn't enjoy having full-on whey protein just because it sits not very nice in my stomach, so I feel a bit sickly after. It's just personal how I feel, so I like to have the Clear Whey because it's a lighter touch and it can just go down in my stomach a lot easier. And then finally it would be probably the collagen shots, especially when I'm injured. I did my hamstring a few years ago and I had to have one of them every day, which sort of re-strengthened my tendon and got my rehab going faster.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lauren.